Hello and welcome to why is it echo?
I don't hear an echo.
You don't hear echo?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I heard an echo. I hear echo. Girl,
That's
what?
gonna bother you, huh?
It is gonna bother me. I'm hearing you twice. Wait, maybe take my headphones off.
Okay, can you hear
Can you hear
without
me?
the headphones? Yeah, I can
Yes, I
hear you
can hear
fine.
you. Okay. All right, I'll work through it. I'm a professional. I can do this. Anyway, welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co host, Tracy. How
Hey,
are you, ma'am?
y'all. I'm good. I'm good. I think I told you I rolled in about 2 a.m. this morning, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like sort of on fumes, but not really because
Mm-hmm.
I'm hyped for, just for the day.
Just for the day. Okay. I was hyped till I saw the snow,
I saw that. I was out in it already.
but it seems like it's like tapering off now. If you see my street yesterday, it was one side completely gone, snow gone. The other side, my side, a lot of damn snow. Still left over, but consistently melting.
So is it because of like sun exposure? Because
Yes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was telling, Morel that we're lucky that our house is situated the way it is with no other properties across the street. Literally,
Mm-hmm.
the
Oh
school
yeah.
is gone. It's just the park. So all that sun is able to come straight over and
Mm-hmm.
hit the houses without any interruption.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've been lucky in that regard. So we still have, quite a bit of snow, but yeah, looking out there and seeing that snow falling, I was like, okay, winter did not come to play. But the groundhog told us. He told us,
Like you said, the Farmer's Almanac told us at the beginning of the year, and it was what, almost 50 yesterday.
it was
Can't
40,
complain.
48, and
Oh
nobody wanted
wow.
to put their coat on. Nobody. I saw people in shorts in Providence.
I mean, I had a sweater on and no coat, but shorts, that's pushing it.
I saw
But you
people
know
in
what? Some
shorts.
people are hot, so I don't know. That's them. But I do
Yeah.
have one gripe.
Okay.
You know, me and Bezos, I'm trying to get him out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I've done a great job. I don't order from Amazon. Now, I do still have Prime because I have that for a year. But, so it's a struggle. But I ordered something last Sunday
Mm-hmm.
and I ordered it directly from the company. I get an email. Oh, your package will be delivered on Wednesday the 26th between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Now we had the storm, so I said, you know what? I'm probably not going to get it on Wednesday, but I'll probably have it by Friday, and I'll be fine with that. So I checked UPS, nothing. On Thursday, nothing. Friday, oh, your package is delayed, undetermined when it's going to be delivered. Saturday, same message. So I reached out to the company. I'm like, I need to at least know a date when this is coming. I mean, I have important information that I need to put into this thing I bought. So Mia has had like 9 packages delivered, all from Amazon. And when that heifer all but said to me, see, if you order from Amazon, you have your stuff. I'm
Well,
still mad.
yeah, he does do that one thing right. He does get the packages to you
But
very quickly.
UPS, you gotta be doing better than
So I
this.
I
This
mean,
is not.
what was the company based out of? Because that plays a role.
So the company is a European company.
Hmm.
So I want to say Norway, but the package is in Tennessee. So from Tennessee to here, I get Wednesday. I get Tuesday and Wednesday that you probably couldn't get it out, but it's Sunday.
Yeah, they probably are backed up, I
Oh,
guess.
mm,
I don't
mm,
know. I know you don't want to hear it. I know you don't want to hear it,
mm-mm.
sis. And I
Not
have
when Amazon knows how to do this. UPS, you've been around way longer than Amazon. You should be
true.
competing with Amazon. This is, and then if I go to the site and all you tell me, you don't even give me an estimated date. You're just saying, oh, sorry, your package is late.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't love that because I love a quick he and that is the thing. We are spoiled from Amazon Prime getting
Mm-hmm.
stuff in a day or two. So having to wait longer. So now the thing I do is like if I'm not if I need something and I know I need it by a set day, I get it from Amazon. If I can
Mm-hmm.
wait, like I literally ordered two pairs of jeans because I have no don't ask me why I have no jeans. I have
Mm-hmm.
jeans, but I have no jeans. Um I was like, you know what? I don't even care when they get here. When they get here, they get here because they're just
Mm-hmm.
jeans. And they actually, were on the timeline or arrived sooner. Now, if I had been waiting on them jeans, they wouldn't have came. That's just it's a watch spot, you
Mm-hmm.
know. It's
Mm-hmm.
that's just how it is. But yeah, I know that sucks. But I feel like that happens sometimes. Is that these warehouses they mess the stuff up. The orders get backed up. Stuff goes on the wrong truck. I ordered something, and it was supposed to be out for delivery, and they were like, "Yeah, we can't find it." And I want to say it was also UPS. And then they found it and
Mm-hmm.
or it went to the wrong place or something happened. So maybe something's going on with the UPS um, infrastructure there. I don't know.
Um, Still not good enough. That's
Yeah.
I can't give you a break on this. You've been around way longer. You should know how to be dealing with packages by now. You should have had a game plan when you knew you were going to the Northeast because you we all knew this storm was coming. So where's your logistics?
Right. And the thing is, if it came from Norway originally, like it had
And I
to
don't
pass us to
know if
go
it
to
was
Tennessee.
originally from Norway or Canada. I know the
Okay.
company is in Norway, but the fact is that it's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
And it's been in Tennessee per your website that it's been in Tennessee. So it from when I ordered it on Sunday, it got to Tennessee on Tuesday and was supposed to be to me by Wednesday.
Yeah.
No matter where it came from, whether it was Canada or Norway, it got to the United States on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to figure out why it went there. Is that like some kind of hub? Because I'm saying
Yes,
to
I'm
come from
figuring it's the hub. Yeah.
Norway, it would have had to pass over Rhode Island to get to Tennessee. That's just what I was thinking in my head.
Mm,
But yeah, I don't know. But somebody owes you something, sis. I don't know if it's UPS or the company or somebody owes you something. I don't know what.
yeah. I'm I'm not feeling this. This is not good. And I could have ordered the same electronic device from Amazon and I looked.
Is it something you could get from Staples or one of those spots?
Okay, so I had a little family issue I had to take care of. My granddaughter is here and she was wanting my attention.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing. My daughter used to pull that stunt when she was like 2.
Mhm.
I had my own apartment, so my mother and my stepfather would come and pick her up sometimes, and so she would pull this stunt where when they would drop her off, she would fall out as if she didn't want to come home. And then it got to a point where they were looking at me sideways, like, "Are you doing something to her?" I'm like, "I'm not doing nothing to this child. She is cutting up bad because
Mhm.
y'all let her do whatever she wants at your house, and then when she comes
Mhm.
home, there are rules and regulations even for a 2-year-old, you can't just run amok.
Mhm.
So that was the issue is that she just wanted to spend more time with Grammy and Grampy. So I totally get it. My mom's foster kids would do the same thing. I would go to
Mhm.
drop them back off at her house
Mhm.
and they would fall out not wanting to go back to my mom. It's just a thing. I get it.
Yeah, it's fine. She'll be okay.
Mhm.
Oh, so back to UPS. Yeah. Do better. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Do better. So what else is happening?
What else is happening? Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees are out. I'm very
Mhm.
excited about that because, I see some groups that I grew up on, that groups and individual artists, there are quite a number. So the way Rock and Roll Hall of Fame works is that in order to get inducted, are nominations. So the nominees have been released. I'm going to shout out my favorites. I'm not shouting out everybody because I don't remember the people that I'm not interested in. I will start with Boston's Own, New
Mhm.
Edition. Got to kick it off with New Edition. The fact that these men have been in the game for 40 plus years, doing the damn thing consistently, nonstop, solo artists, group acts, from Belle Biv DeVoe to New Edition to each individual having their career. Bobby, of course, Ralph having a solo career, Johnny, all of that good stuff. So as a group, New Edition is nominated and fan voting is open every single day. You can vote as a fan every single day on up to 7 nominees. I'll give you the other nominees I'm very excited about. Miss Lauryn Hill, very excited. One of the premier lyricists, forget male, female, one of the premier lyricists out there. Lauren has bars and delivery. She may not show up on time for all her gigs. I don't even care about none of that. All I care about is
I do.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That is an album I can play front to freaking back. Fuji's albums,
Album does
front
she
to back.
have? I know with the Fugees, but what other solo album has she had?
Don't know. But she does have a couple of songs that are like the one she did with Bob Marley. She has a couple of solo songs that I do like.
Mhm.
But Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, to me, it's almost like, and people will argue probably, it's almost like a Thriller album to me in the sense that you can listen to it front to back and there are
No, I
just
agree.
so many gems on that record.
Mhm.
I think she's a queen, and what she did with the Fugees was elevated them because the Fugees would not have been the Fugees without Lauryn Hill.
Mhm.
No freaking way they would have had the success without her.
Mhm. I
Um,
agree.
so Lauren, big up Lauren, Mariah Carey, who
Mhm.
for some reason is not doing that well with the fan nominations. I'm very shocked because Mariah is like, she's the queen of Christmas. She's got so many number one hits. She's broken so many world records with her
Mhm.
voice and her album sales that I don't know if people are just, maybe her fan base doesn't know, but they need to be going to
Mhm.
vote. So I've been voting for New Edition, Lauren, Mariah, Sade, Helen Fuller Sade Adu. Come on now. That's my golden ticket. If there's any concert in the world that I would mortgage my house to go see, it's Sade. I love Sade. I know you're probably like, no, I wouldn't do it. I am that passionate because she has not performed, and that's my girl. That is my girl.
Which and I always tell people, I am not a music person. I
Yeah.
like music, but, like, artists, like, Sade is not one. But you know who's not another one that's, like, high on my list, and everybody's always thrown by this? Prince. Not a huge
Okay.
fan. Not a
I
huge
like
fan.
Prince.
I loved him in the beginning. There's not many songs. Like, the beginning, his early songs, loved all of it. I Wanna Be Your Lover, that whole album, whatever, I loved it. But then after that, there was, like, bits and pieces. Purple Rain, loved it.
Yes.
Played it nonstop, like Vanity 6 and Apollonia 6. So I get the talent, but when it comes to, like, actually buying his music, like, after the '90s, I just wasn't there. And
Yeah.
Sade, well, you know what? I don't even think I could put Prince in that category because I just named, like, 3 damn albums that I loved of his and his writing that I
Sade,
appreciated,
my gosh.
but Sade was not ever on my list.
So Sade, my kids, like when they hear a Sade song, they're triggered because that was something I played in the car, like on repeat, like King of
Mhm,
Sorrow. There's just so many good songs. And of course her early stuff too. Sweetest Taboo,
mhm,
Smooth Operator. Oh God, that's my girl. I'm like, she
mhm,
just, and also I just love her humanitarian.
mhm,
She's always been a very vocal woman. She's a little bit combative too. She kinda got, like, a little bit of spice to her. She also has a trans son, and I love the way she rocks for her trans child. I adore Sade, and I do think she deserves her flowers, especially when you see the other nominations. I'm like,
mhm,
above these, absolutely. Like I think Melissa Etheridge or somebody is in there. No shade to Melissa Etheridge, but you're not Sade. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
Mhm.
ma'am, you're not. Luther Vandross is on there, and
I'm surprised he hasn't been already in the Hall of
I'm not
Fame. That's crazy.
not in any particular order, so don't come from me for not
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
Luther first, because Luther is Luther, and we know he's one of our kings. Who else? Wu Tang Clan. Excited about that because Wu Tang collectively and again as individual artists, like their foundational rap music. It's just
Mhm,
they're part of the fabric and the history of rap. Method Man, just fine as hell, great
mhm,
lyricist. ODB, rest in peace to him. He carved out his niche. Raekwon the chef. I mean, like I said, individually, Bobby
mhm.
Digital. I mean, we just lost power from Wu Tang last week. It would be nice if they could go into the Hall of Fame and get acknowledgement for that. I'm trying to think, am I missing anybody else? I feel like there's some others, but those are the main ones. Those are
Yeah.
the highlights of who I've been voting for daily.
I feel like of the list that you said, definitely Sade, definitely Luther, and for me, if I had to pick the 3rd, it would be New Edition.
Well, you get up to
If
seven.
I look with the 3, it
Right,
would
right.
be New Edition, and then, for me, Lauryn Hill and Wu-Tang, they'd battle it out
Hmm.
for, the other spots, but and again, not a huge Sade fan of her music or whatever, but I do respect her contribution, and I'm shocked that her and Luther have not already been at it. That's
Yeah.
shocking.
And so when you look at the tally, so right now there's
Mhm.
like a running tally every day. They're not even really cracking that top seven, which is like I don't like that for them because we need
Okay.
them up in that. I think In
How
Excess is in
long
there,
has it been
Billy
open?
Idol. It just opened like maybe 3 or 4 days ago, but you can vote every day up until it closes. And it's just your email address and then you vote. It's not like, not anything crazy. And I believe the final announcement is going to happen sometime in March. Don't quote me on
Okay.
that, but I
Ooh,
will
that's
share.
quick though.
Yeah, I'll share the link for voting. I gotta fact check that because
Mhm,
I'm not sure.
mhm.
But definitely New Edition, just because again, consistently for so long, for 40 years, like they really have not taken a breath. They pretty much performed every other year for the last 40 years, at minimum, at minimum. And they're just our hometown guys. So of course I gotta root for them.
I agree. I believe that they should be in there, but I'm stunned about Luther. That's
Yeah. I
who
don't know
does
how
this?
all
But
those
anyway,
politics work, but
yeah.
Luther should have been in there, of course.
Let me tell you something. Like I can respect somebody's game. Like you, especially when it comes to like Hall of Fames.
Mhm.
And I wasn't like outraged, but I was really shocked when the NFL Hall of Fame didn't nominate Patriots coach. Damn, can't think of his name.
Belichick?
Yes, that was a
Hmm,
shocker.
hmm,
Like, everyone thought that he would be like, it was a no-brainer for him to be on it
definitely.
for what he has done. I don't like the man, cannot stand the man. So I was really shocked. So he'll probably make the it next year, but yeah, sometimes you have to wonder about who selects these things, like
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it is politics. Some of it is like a
mhm,
little, let me slide you a little something on the side. Speaking of that, not to take away from the talent of any of these musicians. I think they're all multi-talented and I think they,
mhm,
even the ones I'm not rooting for deserve at least a look because of, their musical
mhm,
um success. But
mhm.
I was talking last night when I was at this gathering and I met some people I didn't know. And people were saying, hey, do you think Tiana is going to get the Oscar this year for One Battle After Another? And I believe she's up against Annie from Sinners. And I am so sorry I don't remember this actress's name because I absolutely adore everything that she's in, but I can never remember her name.
It's like Wumi something, but
Yes, yes, and, I'm sorry, girl, my apologies because you are fire, but congratulations
fire.
to her too because she's expecting a baby. I'm so excited for
Mhm,
her
mhm,
about that, but they were saying that she's going up against Tiana and then some other people for maybe Best Supporting Actress
mhm. I think it's
in a
best supporting,
Best
yeah.
Supporting, and I'd rather Wumi get it because I saw One Battle After Another, and it wasn't the kind of movie I would normally watch. I appreciate what it took for Tiana to jump from being a singer to and a child star at that to, an Oscar nominated film. But I think Sean Penn deserves the Oscar more than Tiana does for the portrayal. And I know there are two different categories, whatever.
Hmm.
But if we're comparing apples to apples, Sinners to One Battle After Another, Sinners all day. Just sweep it out. Just make
Yeah.
room in the trunk, Ryan, because I want you to be able to take you deserve all of it. Music, costume, production, lighting, sound, acting. Everyone who was in Sinners needs to go like this. And Delroy Lindo, of course. And that's another one of the things. And I don't know if I'm just like, it's menopause brain making me bounce around, but this whole BAFTA thing, after what happened to Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan, the whole Tourette's gate and them being called the N-word live during the broadcast of the BAFTA Awards,
And it was,
diabolical.
but they taped it 2 hours earlier, so they could have edited out. And they
Right.
edited out some racial, I mean, not racial slurs, but homophobic slurs that would go towards Alan Cummins. And then, but all the N-word slurs stayed in. They edited out Free Palestine. That was
I
fine.
was
So
gonna
it was
say that.
a little on the disrespectful side. And I'm glad you brought it up because I did want to say something like really quick about it. I understand the Tourette's. I do get it. But the first time he said it and it was that tick, he should have removed himself. Nobody is shaming the disability, but you cannot deny the harm that you cause by calling two African American, oh, no, not African American, because one is African American and the other one is African British. You
Yeah.
can't deny the harm that you've done with those words. And
Yeah.
people telling us, well, it's just a tick and it's stop telling black people how to feel. And we've all said that or whatever. And an apology in the moment. Not an apology for the Tourette, but an apology to the humans that the Tourette affected. And
Right.
people have a hard time dealing with that. So he didn't come out and give the best apology, in my opinion. But then he came out a couple of days later and he apologized because he hated the way that white liberal racists were defending him and using that word to validate that type of racism. And he's like, I've always fought against that. So that made him a better person in my mind. But sir, you saw what you did the first time. You should have removed yourself from the situation so that you wouldn't do it to someone else because he did it to three different categories and they were
Yeah.
African American. And I'm like, that's not cool. That was not cool.
It wasn't. It wasn't. And so, I what really makes me really mad about this is that Delroy Lindo, like you said, he's British. He was born in England. This is his hometown. This happens to him in his hometown. BAFTA doesn't take the proper action to pre-edit the show. That's, but they picked and choose. They cherry picked what they did want to edit out.
They had 2 hours to edit.
This man was sat next to a microphone, which he also questioned. He's like, I have this disorder. Why'd you put me near a microphone? Not an excuse at all, because it doesn't matter. But the other piece of that is that I've seen Tourette's advocates come out, a black one at that, and
Mhm.
say, we cannot help this. Like she really was like, we can't help it. And I don't know if we can't help it means not only can we not prevent ourselves from these ticks, but also I can't even get up in the moment to remove myself. I don't know what the ticks are. I can't speak on that. I don't know how disabling it really is. I know just briefly from watching like Balin, that show with the young lady Balin, like she can't even be trusted around the stove because her tick might mean she turns the gas on and blows the whole house up, or she can't be trusted necessarily to drive because her ticks also can be physical. So I don't know. I'm not saying anything about this man's disability, but the organization had a response calling me, and I keep sending her the voicemail. I keep telling her is when you don't get the answer, call your daddy. But
Mhm,
anyway,
mhm.
I don't know. So I can't speak on the disability side of it, but what I can say is the apologies sucked from BAFTA and from the person. I don't even remember his name. it could have been better. So don't come out later just because you don't want to be used by, conservative races. You should have apologized from jump because it's not your intention. It's how that shit landed. Because it
Mhm,
didn't just land on those actors. It landed on me. It landed on you. It landed on
mhm.
other Black people. It landed on other allies who are disgusted by that. So you have to understand we're tired of the weak ass apologies at the end of the day. You know who came off vacation and went live to say fuck BAFTA was Gina Yashere, the comic. She's a
Yep,
British
I
comic.
saw it.
My girl she was on the balcony, I think on a cruise ship, and was like, you know what, I'm on vacation, but I got time. My girl went on live and was like, F
I saw
you,
it.
F this one, F that one, F the BBC. She was not playing around because she
It
was
was
like,
not
y'all,
cool.
she's from there and she knows the
Yeah,
BS. You know what I mean?
it
The
was
the
not
thing
cool.
is that we obviously we're out here on our own is the bottom line. It's like we cannot be waiting for people to advocate for us anymore. It's just that's
Mhm.
done. That ship sailed. If you do advocate for us, thank you, great. But we gotta advocate for our own selves in these spaces. And yeah,
But part
unacceptable.
of the problem is too, like you said, Black people with Tourette's came out and they explained the situation. But you have this condition. You should have a handler, somebody there that if you can't remove yourself, they can remove you.
Yeah.
You know, even like we have to stop the production right now while we handle this situation. It was just so many things that they could have done better, but because Black people are so dehumanized, oof, couldn't even get the word out, that we have to fight for our humanity and for certain people to look at us like we are people, that it was like, well, it was an accident. It was, everything else. But if he had, like, if a white woman got up there and he started yelling slut, they would have edited that out.
Yeah,
And it would be an
absolutely.
uproar about it. Like if he had, I mean, he did yell out the F word towards, the homosexual community, but and they edited it out. You just took no care. You took no care with us at all, our mental health, and they really don't.
Which is
It's just a
wild.
bad week.
Because they're a big organization. It's not like you're a small time production who doesn't have a full crew editing in real time. Like, because things have happened in the past, like that were not acceptable, which is why you probably have a you know, delayed
You have a
signal for that.
2-hour delay. You were so worried about Israel, but you weren't worried about Black people.
So some other influencers I saw out there did some reels countering it saying, "Well, what if I was to go into work and I suddenly developed a version of Tourette's against white people? How would that
Mhm,
land?" Because
mhm,
we've never seen it happen the other way. For some reason, we've never seen it happen the other way. No
mm-mm,
Asian people have come out and started screaming cracker from their
mhm,
Tourette's. No Latinos have come out as far as we know, and started saying negro. We've never
mhm.
seen it the other way. It just it feels intentional. We're
Yeah,
not saying it is, but it just feels very deliberate. And like you said, why is it that at the time, like, why is that the tick when
mhm.
these different people take the
Because
stage?
you learned this word and you learned that word to attribute it
Associated.
to Black people.
Right. Right.
So it's, again, we all know that these things are taught from generation to generation to generation, and people really think that racism is on the decline. I do not know why you would ever think that, because it's actually louder and prouder right now. But yeah, that was very disappointing, considering as much as like watching BBC shows, and I'm a huge fan. And I've watched the BAFTA awards a couple of times. I think one of my he used to play Doctor Who when he hosted it. I watched it. Tennyson, I think is his name. But anyway, I've watched it and I'm just disappointed, just very disappointed. So anyway, but another thing I want to talk about is the Netflix deal fell through for them to buy HBO, CNN, and what was the other, Discovery. I guess they're all in there together.
Yeah.
And no one wanted them to have CNN, but they didn't want any any big corporation to have CNN because we'll just like CBS, we're just gonna have state-run TV, which is
Mhm.
I mean, I wish people would read some books. Maybe we should start listing books that people for people to read to see exactly what is happening. Start with 1984 or Brave
George
New World,
Orwell. Yeah.
start with those. So it turns out that the Ellison family who own CBS and who have turned CBS into state-run TV now are going forward with buying HBO and CNN and Discovery. And I will, when that goes through, if it goes through, I will get rid of HBO. That's a huge one for me because I love my HBO.
Me too. I have so
My
many good
dairy
shows on there, but hey,
it's like I've already said no to Paramount. That is I mean, I have a subscription that it started before they bought, but I'm tired of these oligarchs just buying up everything and then feeding us crap, and then we're just accepting it. I need this revolution to really get kicked on because this is utterly ridiculous. We are in dire situation, and we say this every week on the show, how bad of a situation that we are in. I understand that we need to find happiness and joy in things, but they are really trying to get us, not just us, but a whole lot of demographics that are under the 1% as slaves. This is why they're taking away your education. This is why they're leaning so hard on AI because there's going to be nothing left for you at the end of the day.
yeah.
It's depressing. I'm like, freaking
It's
HBO. He was this close. But and also we see how the president got involved in that. Like,
yeah.
how is that legal? But
Not how is a lot of stuff he's doing. Most of the things he's doing is not legal.
mm,
What he's doing is finding loopholes, or not him because he's not
mhm,
smart enough.
he's not.
Whoever's pulling the strings are finding loopholes. And we said we're going to touch on this, but obviously strikes on Iran, we you can't go to war without that actually passing. That has to actually, there's a chain of command to actually go to war. So we're not officially at war right now, but what's happening with the things that are happening in Iran, with these strikes, with these bombings, with the killing of the Ayatollah, he's trying to force the hand of our Congress to greenlight a war. So it's like, what do we do? He already started bombing stuff. And
Because
he
Iran is not Venezuela. I don't know what's going on with Venezuela, but Iran is not them. The Middle East is not them. They fight back. Look at Ukraine. Ukraine has fought back against Russia for how it's on what, 4 years now? Three,
at
four
least
years now? It's insane. People do not like it when you come into their country, and we don't like it. We as Americans say we should not go into another country and tell them what they should do. That's the average American. You cannot go into the East and tell them how they should run their country. He's up here telling the Iranians to rise up and change your leadership. Americans should rise up and change our leadership. That's what should be
100%.
happening.
100%. And it's scary because we live in a small state, right? We're in Providence, we're in Rhode Island. The likelihood of an attack on Providence is much less than a major city like New York, DC,
But we're
Los
very
Angeles.
close to
And it's like, why
everything.
are you stirring stuff up for us to have another 9/11, for us to
Mhm,
have another World Trade Center, because you are poking a bear that you have no business poking?
mhm, and
Other th For what? For what? To
for
put us
Israel, for Israel.
for us to be in
So
danger.
they us to be in danger and be in danger with no health care, but the Israelis have health care. Be in danger with no free college education, but they have it. Be in danger, but they have stipends for their rent and homes and stuff like we don't have that kind of stuff. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, we definitely have to, like you said, pay attention. The revolution needs to be kicked up, and that means, again, doing as little or as much as you are capable of.
And I
If
think the
that
littlest that you could do, boycott anything that these Ellison family members own.
And then voting, mail-in vote used to be my jam, but they've done a lot of stuff with the postal service now where they're taking away your rights if mail doesn't get delivered that you mailed. For example, your mail-in ballot, if they are like, we mysteriously lost all the blue state ballots,
And
you
they will
gotta
do
go
that.
stand in line. You gotta go stand in line and you gotta cast your vote in line. The lines are gonna be long as shit this year. Get in line, if they tell you can't have water, hydrate before you get there. All the things they're gonna do to try to kick you out of line.
And why would they make it so uncomfortable for you to vote? Like the people that were actually being put in jail for giving water and snacks to people in Georgia because they were in long lines. Why would
Right.
that be illegal? That
Think
doesn't
about
even
it.
make sense. But also, the SAVE Act passed in the House. And I don't think people understand exactly what that is, disenfranchising women, but also poor people. Because one of the things that the SAVE Act requires is that you have a passport to vote. Not everybody has a passport. Not everybody can afford a passport. So if we have to have a passport, is the government going to pay for us to get one? Because then that would be okay. But you're not going to pay for everybody to get a passport. The onus is on them to come up with those funds to do
But
so.
also, that just doesn't make any sense
It
in a
doesn't.
normal world. So it makes me feel there's an ulterior motive
There is.
behind that. So I have
They
a
don't want you to
passport.
vote.
Well, that part, but I have a passport. My children all have passports. My husband has a passport. And like you said, it's like $160, 120, $160 to get the passport. You got to pay another 10 to $15 for the pictures. You're looking at, a couple $100 roughly to
And
get.
who's to say this administration doesn't make it go up more?
Right, that part. Like they've disconnected TSA or they paused TSA. So the TSA card, which is almost the equivalent of a passport as a real ID, they paused the program. Is that ID still valid? Is that something I could use to vote? And
Mm-mm.
so this is the thing. It's like, and then a passport can take weeks to arrive. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't start ordering your passport now, will you have it for November? You can't go and order it in September thinking you're going to have it in time for November to vote.
Yeah.
But also, if I mail in my ballot, how do you know if I have a passport or not? So again, it's not making a lot of sense. But again, another way to disable women and take more of our rights away. Another reason why we need people to understand the people who did not freaking get it the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time we tried to tell you, the same people who would not be in this situation if Kamala
Yeah.
Harris. Hi.
All right, ma'am.
Ooh, what is that? But I there's a young lady that is my friend on Facebook, and she was one of my former students when I taught modeling. She has a son who has special needs. He has Down syndrome, possibly autism. He has to be tested for that as well. And that comes the Down syndrome comes with a plethora of medical conditions. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen her post no less than 2 times, and I'm sure there are others that this is not what she voted for because when she tries to take her child to get health care, when she
She
tries to
voted
take
for
her child to get, she's not from here. She's from the South and she's Caucasian. Her son, the treatments are not there. And if they're there, they're at a cost that is much more exorbitant than she's used to paying. So now she's feeling the wrath of her vote. And I'm not going to be petty in this moment because she's young. She's younger than me. She has a young child who has a disability. I feel for the child. But my heart wants to go out to her, but my logic wants to say, this is what you voted for. You're getting
Did
exactly
you
what you
listen?
asked for.
You didn't listen.
You're
And
getting
it's
exactly what you asked for.
unfortunate that as a country, we really are stupid. We really are stupid. And I'm going to put myself in there as well because we follow a pack, no matter which one it is, instead of saying, you know what, well, let me look up X, Y, and Z. Or we get hooked on to like, petty things instead of looking at big picture of things. But the right is stupid mixed with racism. And that's two deadly combinations because you're stupid, you're willfully stupid, but then you're also letting your racism lead you to be that stupid because you don't want to learn anything else. Why is it that after centuries of being in this country with Black people, you want to still act like you don't know black people. You want to still pretend like, well, I don't know what their culture is. It's your culture. You follow it every you want to pretend like we are not human, just like you. Your doctor can be a black person, but you can just sit up there and say, that one person, Tracy, she's a good one. But her friend Shahida, I don't know about her.
Mm.
You can separate us all the time, but you've been in this country with us for hundreds of years. And you still want to pretend like you don't know what it is to treat people just like human beings. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
but
all
part
that's the first thing you have to start, but we're so stupid.
well, and I'm gonna tell you where more of the stupid lies, and it's with people who have immigrated to the United States. And I'm speaking
Go
as a
ahead, break it
child of an
down.
I'm speaking as a child of immigrants here. And not my family, because my family they know what to do. My family is Democrats, baby. But a lot of people come to this country and feel like they are part of right wing conservatism because they are part of the Catholic religion or what have you. And then we'll turn around and look at a black person and say we are overreacting when we point out racism. Now,
Mhm.
how we receive things, even if sometimes things just feel racist.
Yeah.
Any Whether it was intended to be, whether it is or not, sometimes shit just feels racist to us, and we're gonna call it
Nope,
racist
it does.
because the shit felt bad to us.
Mhm.
So whether it's racism or not, do not call out black people for saying shit is racist. If it felt racist, the shit is racist, whether it was intended to be racist or not. And there are oftentimes things that people do that they do not understand is racist. They don't understand is prejudice because of colonialism. If we're telling you about the shit, listen and understand our perspective. There's even times where I'm like, damn, that wasn't really racist, but I'm still writing for this person because they felt it was racist. And that's from a long simmering problem that we've had in this country. And I don't need Asians. I don't need Latinos. I don't need Indians telling black people how the fuck to feel if we feel like shit about something that happened to us from one of y'all or a white person or whoever. There are a lot of things that are racist and you don't know it because of colonialism.
But it's still, in my opinion, a weak argument because hundreds of years saying the same thing, teaching the same things, giving you the same breaks. One generation's trying to teach your children about how to treat the other black children in their schools or whatever. You haven't learned anything yet. You haven't learned anything yet. The only thing that you have kept alive is your racism and your need to feel superior to other people. And if I felt superior to other people, I would like a dog or a animal or something. If I felt superior to that, I wouldn't be cruel to it. I wouldn't be. I'm not cruel to animals, even when I'm yelling at a fly for being in the house right before I kill it. I'm apologizing. I'm like, if you hadn't came in here, if you hadn't come into my space, we wouldn't be beefing about this. But you feel superior, but it's all your inferiorness. I made up that word. It's all your insecurity, and that's where the racism is just rooted in. So you need to deal with that. And we've been explaining to you how your actions have stopped us from being in that 1%, have stopped us from having our own communities. Your insecurities have stopped us from having the income that most white people enjoy, that as a whole African Americans don't. Still at the bottom. Yet we have persevered. But it's all because of dealing with your BS. How many more years do we gotta explain this? I think now we've gotten to the point where I don't want to talk to you and explain to you about racism. I think if you come to me with some racist shit, I think I want to punch you in the face. I'm
And
good.
don't get me wrong, I think that when I go on my feed, my white friends they know the deal. You already know.
They
I associate myself with the right kind of white people, with the right kind of Asians, with the right kind of Latinos, because believe me, I will cut a
have some
Latino out.
ride or die for.
off my friend list quick than a motherfucker if you're acting up and being
And
stupid,
done.
family included. I don't care. You're not gonna get on my page with that. I definitely cut some white folks off during the pandemic because they were
Mhm.
getting a little spicy. And I was like, no, we're not doing this. And it was right around like election conversations and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
it was right around the same time. So I find that my social media is calm in general. It's when I go and
Mhm.
look at other posts and go
Yeah.
through comments that I start seeing, the flames rise up, and then I see these debates and then these arguments, and I hate to see white minorities coming into comments and saying that people are overreacting. That shit pisses me off, especially from Latinos. Y'all. When I say y'all, I know I'm y'all, but I'm talking about y'all, the ones that
Mhm.
look like you will get picked up before I get picked up. You have to understand you're at elite level danger right now. Anybody who's Latino, I don't care if you
Code
was I don't care if you were born in Mass General. I don't care if you were born in
Code
Rhode Island
red.
Hospital. They will pick your ass up, put you in a detention center, and ask questions later. So there's no fucking way you need to be aligning with the right. Anybody
Racial
Asian, like,
profiling.
stop saying that, if we complain about treatment at a restaurant, treatment at a service, or shit be feeling racist to us because it is. Because it
Mhm.
is. Don't tell us it's not, because you also experience that as well. We're not the only ones. Black people are not the only ones who experience racism, but we kind of are the poster child for racism
Yeah. Yeah.
because we fight because of civil rights movement. Y'all get to move the way that you get to move. So never
Exactly.
forget that. Never forget that.
You
So
get to
yeah,
move the way you do because of African Americans in this country.
100%.
So much, but it's always gonna be a topic I mean, we have elections coming up. It's always gonna be a topic until we get past some of this
You got to
because
take it seriously. You got
gotta
to
take
take
it
it seriously.
seriously, and I don't think you people are. I don't think a lot of people are, but I do have a lighter note for us to end on.
Okay.
Dating. Saw that Tracy's totally out of the game, so,
But I might be able to offer some sage advice. So I'm here to
oh, you're
listen.
definitely gonna be able to offer some advice, but I just find this very weird, and I wanna hear your opinion. And this woman okay, so this guy was gonna take this woman out on her first date, right? On their first date together. So he texts her, "Send me your location, I'll come pick you up for this date." So he goes to the location, and it is a nail shop. She's in the chair getting her feet done and her nails done, and she says to him, "If you pay for my pedi, my mani, and everything," it was $500. I was like, "Wow, what I don't know those prices, but I'm just like a cheap girl. You pay for my mani, my pedi, or whatever, I'll go home with you. This is the first date." So he's like, "You know what, girl? Get it all. Get everything. Get the things that you want." So the bill came up to $1,000. And the shop owners are the ones who posted it because he dipped and left her with the $1,000 bill. And so and this actually happened 2 years ago. It just came up on my feed. So people were going back and forth where he should have just told her, "No, I'm not going to pay, for your feet and nails. I was taking you out or whatever for this date. That's it." Instead of setting her up. And is it a thing? The thing is to people who you barely know, and I've seen this a lot like on like the internet, pay for your nails, get your hair done for a date. But was he wrong? And what is your opinion on pay for my services for a date?
So for them to be complete strangers,
Mhm.
they're both dumb.
Mhm.
I don't even know how else to break it down. She's dumb for, first of all, when you go on a date, come prepared. The hair, nails, all that should be done. Don't come to
Mhm.
my preparation for the date. That's not a date. That's the
Mhm.
pre-date. So that's not
Mhm.
even a date. That's not a real thing.
So that was a plan by her.
$500 is wild. I
Mhm.
I consider myself spending a lot as a just a regular Joe for
Mhm.
for my nail services. I pay a little extra for some of the premium pedicure services.
Mhm.
I can't even imagine what else I would add to my services,
To
that
be a
would bring it to
thousand.
$1,000. I would have to probably get a
But it also
massage.
depends on the state too. Like I'm
And
figuring,
and that's fine. Let's say it's
yeah,
500.
say it's
She
California,
Even if it was $100, I don't think it's appropriate. I think it's
right?
inappropriate to ask a complete strange man
Hmm.
to pay for your pedicure and manicure, whatever, your nail services. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care if it costs
Hmm.
$5. I don't think it's appropriate to barter your body because you're saying you're going to go home with him.
Hmm.
What does go home with him mean? That's
Yeah,
not a
that.
date. That is not a
Hmm.
date. A date is not at that person's house. A date is coffee. A date is dinner. A date is we went to do paintball. A date is not pay for my nails and I'm going to go screw you like after I get my nails done. And he's a simp for even when he pulled up and saw it was a nails salon. Guess who would have pulled off? Me.
But he could have thought she worked there. He could have thought
No,
that that was her job, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going in," and then he sees her in the chair. I don't. I wouldn't put him in the simp category for that.
No, he's a simp because he went inside, found out what was going on, and offered to pay.
I still don't think he's a
Simp,
simp for that. I would have probably did something just as terrible. No, I
a
probably
simp.
would not have done that. But it's like the audacity, and for him to be like, okay, I got you, and then dip on her. I think that was like poetic
Because that was
justice.
probably retaliation for her
Yeah,
being greedy. That just
yeah, it
sounds,
definitely was.
I don't know,
That's why
that's
I don't feel
weird.
like he's that's why I don't feel like he's a simp because I feel like he was retaliating. Like the audacity of you to have me come pick you up and it be a nail salon and then ask me to pay. I'm not a huge, huge super dater, but I have never asked anybody to pay for anything of mine. People have offered. Yes, I will take that offer. But to come out of my
Separate
but that's
occasion.
after a while, after, but a first date, you actually go in and then there was another after you go down these holes. So this woman went out with this other guy and he told her, he's like, saving to buy a house, things are tough. Not he said things are tough, blah blah. I'm on a budget. But I asked you out. Please order what you like. And you know, so she did. She ordered like a Wagyu steak. She ordered some just very expensive stuff, and he was fine with it. He said he was fine with it, and like premium wine, fine with it. But she only ate a small portion, and then the rest she had it in a to-go bag. So when he went to go drop her off, he said she just gave him like the side hug and just went on about her business. But then started blowing up his phone all of a sudden, and he's like, "Oh," he looked back. She had forgot
Where to
the
go.
food, her to go. So I thought that was funny because he said he didn't answer. I said, "But you should have answered because you don't know 100% where she was going with that. She could have been like really liking you and I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you needed to know 100% that she was using you. But you know what? Your gut and your instinct tells you.
In my head, what I was thinking is she either got a man laid up in the bed waiting for that Wagyu, or maybe she was, it was for her. That's another option. Or it could have been for like maybe she had kids or something like that. I don't know. But I don't.
You order a whole bunch of food on your first date. And my thing is too, I would not this is where I would have ended it, right? I would not have ordered all that food,
Yeah.
but I don't need to hear your financial problems on my first date with you.
The guy
You can't
saying that.
yeah, I mean, like, if he had just said, "I'm saving for a house," and, what are your goals or whatever, I get that part, but to just be like, go into, like, how you're cutting back on I don't know, I don't wanna hear that on a
Yeah.
first
I
date.
don't. I mean, I think it depends. I get what you're
Not
saying.
before
Like
you order.
it's heavy content, right? That should have been a conversation you're having, like maybe as you're
Getting
planning,
to know each
getting
other
to know
on
each
the
other,
phone.
right? But don't say it over the dinner table or whatever. That's
Right
kind of like,
before and then tell me, "But you go ahead and order what you want." To me, I would feel okay, I don't want well, me, because I would be sympathetic. Well, he's trying to save for a house. I don't wanna be like, I wouldn't order like, 2 entrees and then eat a little bit and then let me pack up the rest. If I ate it, I'd split it with him or something. I would be reasonable. I think I would be reasonable.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
I
that
just
was a
think
lot.
that I don't know for some reason, and I guess we just don't hear the normal stories that happen because we hear the scandalous ones, right?
Yeah,
But
because
I
'cause they're
just
funny.
think, yeah, I just think that stop, like, I don't know, just stop trying to I don't like a money grab in either direction, male or female. I don't like it. I don't like using someone for something that I personally know I can do for myself. If someone's doing something for me, I'm gonna try to be as, like, generous as I would be if I'm gifting them something and vice versa. I would expect that, but I think people just take advantage. They really
Yeah.
do take advantage. Even like if you know you're booking a certain restaurant, I went out to lunch with a friend. The friend invited me to lunch and was like, "Come to lunch with me." I checked out the menu. I was like, "Okay, this is a little bit on the higher end." I went prepared to pay.
Mhm,
My friend said, "Lunch is on me, Tracy." I
mhm,
was like, "Oh
mhm,
my God, thank you." But I did
mhm,
not show up, even though the person invited me, because that's actually the etiquette is if you invite someone,
mhm.
you should pay for the whole thing. If you invite someone somewhere, especially if it's a date. But it wasn't a date, it was just a platonic thing. Obviously, I was grateful that my friend paid, but I didn't run up the tab knowing that my friend was gonna pay. I didn't go,
Mhm,
by the way, I'm gonna have a dessert too, waiter. Like,
mhm.
well, I think some people are they just don't know how to act.
And I do think it's a small minority because I feel like when you're on the internet, it makes it seem like everybody is doing this because you see those stories. And then once you like and comment on one story, then your algorithm is all jacked up. You're going to see all the crazy dating stuff. So I don't think it is because I don't know anybody like that. And I know you can't also go by your bubble, but I don't know any woman like that. I've known through my lifetime, I haven't met anybody
I'm not
like
gonna say
that.
I don't know any woman like that. I probably know a couple here and handful of women and men like that. But most people are stand-up individuals who will,
Mhm, mhm,
just do the right thing. But I'd like to advocate for, and this is for the dating community. Stop always going out to eat. Honestly, go to a museum. Go to Top Golf. Go do something different. I'm here to advocate for less meals and more activities on these dates. I think you get to know people better when
I
you're
agree.
actually doing something together. I think going out to eat is overrated because, not to mention, if you're trying to be cute and you do want to do something a little, sensual later, eating is not the activity you wanna do before all of that. Like,
Mhm.
because I love garlic, I love onions, I love all the aromatics. Like, I'm not gonna nothing I wanna eat is even gonna be on the menu for me to then go and get intimate with you after that. So, forget the food. I can buy my own food. But I have actually heard women say that sometimes when they are just, like, struggling financially, they will go on dates for food.
I've heard that too. I've heard that too. I mean, I do kinda have a problem with that as well. Because I think you could be more upfront about it. Sometimes you just wanna go out, but you don't have it, and then somebody invites you. Is that really just going out just to you want an experience, and if somebody invites you out for an experience, I mean, you don't wanna turn that down. I don't think that's just doing it just for the food. You think? I don't know. Well, maybe if that's what they're saying, then
I
I
think
get
that
it.
it happens like that, and I think it happens when people say, "It's my birthday, meet me at so and so restaurant for dinner," and then
See, that's different though. So if a guy comes to me and says, and okay, some years, I'm like 20 something years old and I'm struggling. I got 3 kids. I'm going through a divorce. Times are tough. And he says, I want to take you out to dinner. And I'm like, one, I'm like happy, but I don't feel that that's me using you for dinner, even though I know that probably
if
nothing
you
is going to
like the
pop off,
person,
but I don't like the person like that. I don't like the person like that. I like the person, but I know that it's not gonna be one of those. Now, I have gone out with people who I knew they liked me way more than I did. One of the funniest things I did, I knew this guy liked me a lot, and I kept telling him I did not like him. And so he was just badgering me to go out with him, and this is when I still lived in Boston. So I said, "Okay, I'll go out with you," and I took Jabril with us.
My God. No, you didn't.
Told him, it wasn't like I just showed up. I said, "I don't have a babysitter. I have the youngest with me. I don't care. Just come. I wanna take you out to dinner." I'm like, "Okay."
Shahida, now you know.
But I've had the discussion with them, and we were classmates at one point, and so, yeah, that was where did
Yeah.
we end
I
up
don't think
going?
did I ever go out with someone just for the meal?
But yeah, I never went out just for the meal. I don't think I've ever gone out with somebody just for the meal.
Yeah, but I think there are women who are just like, you know what, homeboy won't stop blowing me up, so I'm just gonna go. And I'm not saying it doesn't work in the other direction too, or for other genders or whatever. But I don't know. I think that just in the first scenario that you mentioned, I don't think meet me at the nail salon and pay for my services. I don't like that dynamic at all
No.
because I think it's a bad way to start a relationship. Like if that actually got serious, you're setting a
Mhm.
bad tone because that means that I expect you to just take
Give
care of me. And it doesn't seem like that person has a reciprocal mindset. I don't
yeah.
see her saying, "You know what? Next week when you go to the barber shop, I'm going to pull up at the barber shop and I'm going to pay and tip your barber and get the hot shave and everything." Like I
Mhm.
don't she doesn't
Cute. Oh, that
sound
would be cute. Yeah.
it would be cute, right?
But that with the first date, you haven't discussed. Yeah, it's the first date. Like, that would be something that you would do, and that's a cute damn idea. That would be something that you would do with somebody that you liked and
Do it
respected.
together. Do it together. If this is a full service spa charging thousands of dollars, they probably have services for men. I was telling my husband the other day, we need to go get pedicures together. Like
Mhm.
I see I see your situation. It's time to get them feet dipped. You know what I mean? We're gonna go do that together.
Mhm.
I never call him while even my own husband while I'm sitting at the I might hit him up before I leave the house, like,
Mhm.
what's up on that pedicure and ask him to pay for me. But that's my husband. That's not a
Mhm.
stranger. And I don't know. I don't like it. I'm out of the
Yeah.
dating scene. So maybe I'm just auntie being auntie. I don't like it. And I would
Yeah.
not advise my daughter on that.
No, no, I think that's, it's like you're being a leech.
It's like you
And
can be
again,
bought as well.
exactly, and then again, I still believe that it's a small percentage because I don't know anybody like that, and I know my daughter's friends, I don't know their lives, they could be like that or whatever, but they're all professional women, so I can't imagine, but some of them are very professional people and still say like, "I want you to pay for this so I don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z."
So here's my other thing with this whole thing. I believe in letting people spoil you. That is not what I'm saying here. I love a soft life. I love being treated.
Mhm.
It's the begging for me
On a first date.
because you are essentially begging.
And pimping yourself out.
If that man walked in and said, "Oh, you're getting your feet done? I'll pay for you." That's different. But you saying, "Hey, pay for my stuff," ghetto. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't like it.
tacky, tacky, tacky. Yeah,
And it's
I
like,
I just
so the other piece of this is what happens. The other thing that can happen here is you become so financially dependent on someone like this, and you
mhm,
start a long term relationship, and then financial abuse. It's a breeding ground for financial abuse because
mhm,
now I have control over you from my wallet because you can be controlled by money.
mhm, and I do believe there are a lot of people like that. When I look at some of these younger women and they marry somebody who's, like, damn near 60 and looking like he's 70, I wonder,
Yeah.
was that I mean, because if I'm 20 and feeling good about myself, there is no way I want some 60-year-old man touching this body.
Unless it's Eric Benet,
Yeah, Eric Benet does look good, but no, still no.
who's looking scrumptious and out
He
here
looks so
advocating for
good.
the
And
people.
what? That makes him even sexier? And, after the Halle Berry thing, I was just like, "No, I don't like that man." But now he has
He had an
redeemed himself
addiction, Shahida. It's like the
on that.
Tourette's. He couldn't help it. He
He
couldn't stop
could
himself.
not help slinging that penis all over the place when you got Halle Berry at home. Okay, I got it. But and I always say it doesn't matter how good looking you are. If they're gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. It has nothing to do with you or your looks, what you bring to the table, nothing. It's
Halle
all on
Berry,
them. It's all
Beyonce.
on them. It's all on them. That has nothing to do with you, so you gotta take it that way. But on that note, we will wrap it up because 'cause I'm on my way to take somebody home.
You sound too happy. I just have one more thing I want to say.
Okay,
I
do
have
it.
to plug my favorite rapper who's not on the list of inductees for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. And
I think I know who it is.
his name is Big Papes, and he dropped a single today called Grind and Grit, and it can be found on Pandora, Apple Music,
Mhm.
Spotify. The video is on YouTube. Go check him out. Go listen. Go support. Comment. It's a really great song, very catchy. And the entire video was shot in the south end of Boston. So if
Oh,
you're
I
from
love
the
it.
area, you may recognize some of the really cool businesses, small
Mhm.
businesses that are featured in this video. So
I
again, it's
love it.
called Grind and Grit by Big Papes.
And I'm going to put it at the end of this episode. So you might not go to it, but you're gonna get them clicks.
You're gonna get the thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But you
That's
also
so
know where to
cool.
find us, which is the same places:
Yeah.
iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're working on Pandora, Apple
Yeah.
Podcasts, YouTube if you want to see the facials. So all
We're
of that.
working on a better YouTube as well. I mean, it's slowly coming, but we're getting there.
Yeah,
We're
follow,
figuring
like,
it out.
subscribe, listen, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
So until next time, enjoy this week. I heard by Thursday it's supposed to be back up into the 50s.
Love
So
it.
this snow is slowly going and this is why I choose to live in New England. Stuff like this. Blizzard blizzard on Monday, 50 degrees on Thursday. Come on. It's been a nice last couple of days. So enjoy the rest of the week and we will see you next time.
All right, until then.